Okay, thank you everybody. Following up about the new laws, anti-Semitism and race vilification laws that the government is looking at the moment, and I'm hoping and praying that it won't go through, and calling again on all of our politicians in Australia, don't matter what party you're in, you're Australian as well as the rest of us, and we do not want this law. We do not want this law. So based on what's happening with that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Kirralie Smith. If anybody doesn't know Kirralie Smith, you've had your head in the sand for a very long time. Kirralie Smith heads up an organisation called Binary Australia. Binary Australia. Now, it's an organisation that is for the protection of children, supports parents, and defends the truth. That's what Binary Australia stands for. So Kirralie Smith herself, in March 2023, I think it was, she called out Football New South Wales for prioritising the inclusion of at least 5 it was actually, trans-identifying male players to join the Women's Soccer League. Both the athletes and the parents in that league were concerned about injuries and on an unfair playing field. Injuries from having transgender males playing as women in sport. This is what Kirralie called out in March 2023. For this reason, Kirralie has now been subjected to 9 rounds of litigation. 9 rounds. She's finally got an order that's come down that she can actually act on. But this is over 2 years now she's been fighting this. So Kirralie, in August 2025, Kirralie was found guilty of 2 accounts of unlawful vilification when she called out 2 trans-identifying males competing in women's soccer and said that men cannot be women. Anything ringing a bell with this new law that's coming up? How it can be looked at from that angle? So Deputy Chief Magistrate Sharon Freund in New South Wales found that Smith and her anti-trans group, Binary Australia, incited hatred and serious contempt for these women. So the court imposed a $95,000 penalty against Kirralie, $55,000 to one of the players and $40,000 to the other. And she's appealing this finding. So that's what they've been given by the court, upholding the charges against Kirralie. So Equality Australia is the group that is supporting these transgender people. They welcome this court ruling, and it's the first time it's happened. So it's a precedent. We need to make it a precedent for all people, not just a few people that want to pretend to be women when they're men and play sport against women and young girls. So these women were subjected to horrendous harassment online, they say, these 2 transgender men that want to be women, including being publicly identified, outed and misgendered. The legal director of Equality Australia, a woman called Heather Corkill, said the court has made it clear online posts made in bad faith that incite hatred, serious contempt or severe ridicule regardless of the harm it causes cannot be disguised as political communication. Not only is that argument baseless, it's against the law, said Miss Corkill. The 2 trans women have also applied for court orders requiring Smith, Kirralie Smith and Binary Australia, among other things, to pay compensation, undergo anti-discrimination training and give public apologies. Can you imagine what this woman, Kirralie, has been going through? It's been very stressful. So she actually had put out a recent statement that in the final 2 days of 2025, they were particularly stressful for her. Her lawyers had to appear in court to argue why they needed to appeal the unbelievable decision to pay $95,000 in damages to 2 men playing in women's football competitions. So she was put out a statement saying that she was pleased to say that at 3 p.m. on New Year's Eve, just gone, she was told that she'd won the stay on the orders and the appeal in the New South Wales Supreme Court against this ruling will go ahead. She said, we can't go to the High Court due to the particular processes that must be followed, but that's how she will be heading. So, and Kirralie's main statement is that all this has happened for refusing to call a biological man a woman. So, once again, we need to stand up. The masses against the few need to stand up and put this ideology that men can be women out on its head. So we give Kirralie and Binary Australia all our support. We hope it goes well for her and for the rest of the country and for the rest of the world, but mostly for our young women and young girls who wish to play sport on an even playing field and not against men disguised as women.